Hello guys, welcome back to our channel IELTS Winner. Hope you all are doing fine and staying safe. So today I'm going to show you the band sample answer, the jumbo cue card for the new cue cards of Makkar, that is September to December 2021. I have prepared all the cue cards from all new cards are there from 1 to 7, and the old cue cards samples are also there. Part 1 new sample answers has also been provided, and you can find very good vocabularies in this PDF. So if you want to buy this complete PDF of the new cue cards and old cue cards, it has 75 cue cards along with 3 jumbo cue cards, which has 11, 10 and 7 jumbo cue cards. So you can buy all of these with just 100 rupees. Okay, so message me on WhatsApp. For 100 rupees you can get all this PDF. You will get all the sample answers. So now let's see the jumbo cue card. As you can see, I have written all the answers, and these are bad 8 samples, so you can trustingly use these. You already have seen our jumbo cue cards in previous edition. So now let's see the new one. The new jumbo cue card has, as you can see, 3, 6, 10 jumbo cue cards. Okay, so you can answer this. Just make slight difference and you can answer for any of these cue cards the same answer. So the questions are: describe a difficult decision you made. The other one is describe a creative person that you know. Second one is describe a creative person you admire. Third is an athlete you know, a habit your friend has and you want to develop. Next is describe a businessman you admire, a natural talent that you want to have or you want to inculcate. Describe a foreign person you know, describe an equipment that you have at home, describe an old person and famous person. So all these cue cards have been answered in this one sample cue card. You can just slightly change and match according to the cue card that you get from those 10 questions. So introduction, you can just start by saying that how you come across many people and try to include as many words as you can to show that various cue cards can be included. So we had famous person, old person and all. So I could just start by saying there are varied people who come across our way from various walks of life. So various walks of life, and I have used an idiom, and I am no exception. But today I would like to share with you about such altruistic person who is not only an inspiration. So there was a cue card saying talk about a thing, a habit that you want to learn from your friend. So I have said not an inspiration only, but also a well-known sports person. So an athlete you know, so sports person, and talented, so a skilled person, a skill, a talent, a natural talent. That one I have included. Human being, he is none other than my husband. You can include your friend, your father, your mother, whoever you want to talk about, you can just include that person here. Remember that this is not about being true or false. Okay, it is not going to be actual. You have to create a story that can be false story. So you can talk about anyone whom you feel confident with. Next, now I'm going to start my cue card. If I have to tell you about him in detail, our time will not be enough. But to start, I first met him in Australia when I went there for a vacation. So because the question was talk about a foreign person, you know, I have told that he was a resident of Australia or he was residing in Australia, an NRI. So I have included a foreign person. Next, I will be moving ahead and talking about him and including different cue cards as and when I go. So after meeting, so I met him in Australia. He was a national cricket player who was quite popular. So national cricket player, playing cricket involves running, jumping and all. So it's an athletic game. So an athlete, you know, I have included that he was a national cricket player. So an athlete. And then I'll be saying, one day along with my friend, I went to stadium for athletes called Western, blah, blah, blah. He was doing his tryouts for the national game. The way he ran was like lightning speed. So I am talking about being an athlete. Athlete, I know, so I'm explaining about the athletics. Being an athlete myself, I immediately, I was inspired and attracted towards him. So there was a question that said, a habit your friend has that you want to learn. So I'm coming to that because I was inspired. So I wanted to learn how he works out. So my friend knew him as they both went on same college. They introduced us, and we instantly hit it off on right note. So we became friends. I'm trying to say that we became friends so that when I'm saying that I learned a habit from him, it will be quite understanding. Then I started to visit daily, mesmerized by his charm, though he was elder to me. So there was a question, an old person, you know. So it is not necessary that an old person means he has to be 70, 80 years old. He's quite old. So I'm just including that. So though he was elder to me and already in 30s, he didn't quite seem that, and I never let that come. By watching him practice for his game, it persuaded me to follow his footsteps and do those exercises. So what I wanted to learn the habit from my friend was to exercise, was essential for any athlete. He was a natural sprinter. So there was a question, a natural talent. So I'm coming to that, that he was a natural sprinter. So I'm just talking about a natural talent, not in me, but in him. So there is no task achievement band, so you can change it. He was a natural sprinter, and I want to opt his workout schedule, which were unique and creative. So there was a creative person, you know. So I'm relating that cue card here. So when he was exercising, he was not doing it the traditional way, but he had a unique and creative way compared to others. So when you had that cue card, you can elaborate on this particular point a little bit more to say how unique it was. As I too had my running competition back at my home soon, so I wanted to learn this from him. So a talent I wanted to learn, a habit that I wanted to acquire was the way he exercises in a unique way. We really became close friends. So now I'm saying we are close friends to relate everything to the friend. After returning to India, I can never take my mind off him. So I have covered 2-3 cue cards here. So then I will be moving on to some next ones. Like he was foreigner, so the equipment. I'll be coming to the question that talked about equipment. Talk about the equipment that you have. So to my surprise, one day there was a knock at my door. I'm using some phrases, and when I opened, I was blown away. So I was taken aback. I was shocked. He was standing in front of me with a big workout equipment. So I am including equipment as a workout equipment. You can talk about any equipment, because I was talking about him being athlete and doing exercise and all those things. I have included that so that it is in cohesion and relevant. At first, I thought it was dream, but after some time, I came to my senses, again, a idiom, and invited him. He was thrilled as well and told that the accessory was just an excuse to see me. I have kept it as a souvenir to remind us of our special time. So I have kept it. That means it is still in my house. To relate the cue card, that equipment that I have in my house, I'm telling that it has been there in my house from the past 15 years. Then I would move on. So I have covered many cue cards here. And in the end, I would just give a closure type of thing so that it becomes much more clear. One thing that is worth noticing about him is that though he was such famous personalities, there was talk about a famous person. So I'm talking about that. But he was so down to earth that he flew miles just to visit me and show his friendship. He shifted with me to India and started his own cricket coaching center. So now there was a cue card that I listed was a businessman that you know. So now I'm coming to that he was a businessman. What business he did? It was coaching center of cricket. So which made him popular, as he was best at what he does. When he moved to India, it was a challenge. So there was the first cue card that said, talk about a difficult decision that you had to make. So I am going to talk about that decision. It was a challenge for me to decide whether I should accept his arrival or should I make him go back. But with his support and humbleness, I took the difficult judgment. So I took the decision and made my mind to spend my rest of life with this. Again, I'm covering as many as possible due to cue card. But when you are talking, you're going to talk about any one, so you can cut short on the ideas, cut short on the vocabularies, and choose whatever is best for the cue card you are speaking. Okay, this way you can use so many cue cards for one answer itself. He was successful businessman, famous, well experienced old person, talented, unique talent, and all those things, popular entrepreneur, honor, famous entrepreneur, businessman, not only my husband but my true bestie, so friend for lifetime, and all those things. So I have included 10 cue cards in my one answer, and you can use this 10 cue card for all these one. Okay, so the answer is for all these cue cards. You just have to change according to the cue card which you get. So if you get describe an athlete, talk more about his athletics and reduce on about his famous personality or something like that. If you're talking about a natural talent, you can talk everything that I have told, because he was a cricketer, he started a coaching center. So you can just omit some of the things like equipment and include more. So you can just change little bit between the paragraphs and create the complete answer for one of the cue cards. So hope this was useful. If you want the whole PDF of all the questions of the latest September to December cue card, you can message me on WhatsApp and you can get the PDF for just 100 rupees. All the cue cards, the 75 cue cards have been answered here. Okay, all the 75 cue cards have been answered along with good vocabularies, as you can see. Okay, so if I show everything, it will be very long video. So there are 74 and here is the 75th question. 75th question, and then you have part 1 only, the new ones. The part 1 with answers are given for the new ones, the new additions, because old ones are already discussed with me. So the new ones have been uploaded. So if you want this PDF completely, do message me on WhatsApp and I'll refer to you the PDF when you have done the payment. So all the best, prepare well.